So this level in the quest is looking at that taxing kind of arena of making a great first impression. It's really easy. I've done it many times, made a really bad first impression by being clumsy or not quite knowing what to say, losing the opportunity. You can recover from that, of course. It's a lot easier if you get the impression right to start with. That gives a very good basis for your personal impact. As you know, people remember that first impression, and you can build your personal impact from there. So what are we looking for in a great first impression? Well, let's have a quick look. There are three main things, as you can see in the purple boxes there: our approachability, competence, and confidence. Now, if you just imagine that one of those is missing, for example, we're competent and we're confident, but we have no approachability. Or we are very approachable, but we're just not competent. Or we're very approachable, but we have no confidence. You can see that it's the mesh of the three. Now, there are deep psychological reasons why it is those three, and they are based in a look at a study of coping strategies by a psychologist who I think is fantastic, Karen Horney, who lived in the last century. But those three things blend together very well for people to look upon us favorably. And in the boxes on the right, you can see the bold letters. I've indicated in there some key techniques that are actually related, of course, to the four qualities that we looked at in Coutts and Posner: honesty, looking forward; competence, and inspiring. Listener acknowledges, of course, inspiring. So those key elements there give you some idea of how to ensure that you bring approachability, competence, and confidence. It might be worth looking at those 12 boxes of black writing there and figuring, you know, what do I need to do more of here? What do I need to do more of here? And of course, what we are aiming at is a way for us to do all of these three things and make sure all of those three things come over. And I thought it would be worth, just for a few minutes, giving you some ideas of how we could do that. So here we go, quite quickly on this one. How do I show approachability? And here's the suggestion that I have for us. Definitely smile. Definitely look pleased to be talking to the person. Definitely eye contact, but ask questions, listen, and summarize. Don't feel, and this is a mistake I've made, don't feel you have to start transmitting about how good you are. Simply ask them about themselves. That is a massive way to be seen as approachable. In terms of competent, discuss your experience and how it's relevant. But it's quite useful sometimes to be honest and discuss pitfalls that you have come across, even mistakes you have made, and what you do to prevent problems, what process you go through or did go through or have learned to get things right. So rather than talking about how you got everything right, talk about your experience, mistakes you've made, things that have been corrected, and what your process now is for getting things right. You'll be then seen as competent. And finally, confidence. These things work really well. If you offer options, you're leaving the other person with choices, which means you're confident in them. And that shows confidence instead of sticking to one answer. Mention other people, introduce them to other people, link them to other people. That shows confidence. Why? Because you're connected. It's very, very powerful. Agree the next steps after the conversation. Agree what's going to happen next very clearly. Again, that demonstrates confidence. Rather than letting the conversation drift away, oh, maybe we'll see you again, is the worst ending. But I'm going to call you next week, or I'm going to drop you an email, or do you mind if I contact you next month with an update? It's the next steps which gives the confidence. And of course, here's the most powerful phrase that I'd like to leave you with, which I've used in so many conversations at a senior level, at a colleague level, and you simply say, look, anything I can do to help, let me know. That is a fantastic way of making a great first impression. You're saying, I'm available, I want to support you, I don't want to impose on you, but if there's anything I can do to support you, you let me know. And that works at all levels. Quite often you get it, no, it's fine, thanks, but you've given that first impression. So I hope in that little run through, you've got some ideas and some thoughts about how you can ramp up the impression that you make.